in Tampico, well, it's really, really hot and humid because it's right on the coast. Tampico is a coastal city, it's a port city. And it's in the Gulf of Mexico, midway down Mexico. And the mission itself covers parts of 5 states in Mexico. And, no, parts of 6 states. And we actually go into 5. No, 5 or 4, something like that. I think it's 5. And so it's a pretty big mission as far as the missions go in Mexico. And there are 7 stakes, if I remember right, and 1 district. And so right now they're really trying to get that district to become a stake. And, that's kind of the mission president's goal as of now. And the wards there are a little different, just as I'm sure they are outside of the U.S. The wards have anywhere from 40 to 120 people sometimes. And then the branches are even smaller, 40 max kind of, and then anywhere from 8, 10, 12 and up. But then also in the branches, the attendance does vary more. So I was in a branch, and one time we had 12 people, but then another Sunday we had 44 or 48 people. So it kind of fluctuates a lot. There is a temple in Tampico right in the city. So, I mean, you always go to the temple in your mission. It may not be as much as you'd like, but at least whenever I was there, if you were near the temple, you could go every 3 months or so. So the people there are mostly Catholic. They're Catholic in the way that they say they're Catholic and they have Catholic beliefs, but most of them don't go to church. A lot of them do go to church, but most of them not. They're usually really receptive of listening to the missionaries and inviting them in. I think it's just the Mexican people in general and not the people in Tampico, but they are really inviting and they're nice to you. There are a few people that aren't so nice, but the grand part of them are really nice. They just love you and they invite you in and they'll give you something to drink, they'll give you something to eat sometimes, just for no reason, without knowing you, just for knocking on their door or whatever. And so that's really good. But then a lot of them will listen to you, but just kind of want to stick with what they believe. They're just like, well, I was raised this way, and that's what I believe, and I think that's just how I'm going to stay. And so that's kind of sad, but there are a lot of people who hear the gospel and they understand and realize that it's something better than what they have, something that can add to what they have, so they want to learn more. There are more baptisms in the mission than average, but I remember people were always saying, oh, you're going to baptize like so many people, like dozens and dozens, and I didn't baptize as many people as everyone was saying. But there are baptisms, and helping people is important anyway. But sometimes you just feel good after getting a baptism, so just wanted to mention that. So the mission president there right now is the first native mission president for that mission for, I don't know, more than a decade, maybe 2 decades. When I first got there was an American in there named President Jordan. And he was actually my mission president almost the entire time until my last month whenever we got a new mission president. And so he's President Ramirez. He's from Monterrey, Mexico. And he's great. He has a family. And he has a little boy. His youngest is 2 or 3, I think. I think he's 3. And so he's a very young mission president. Extremely nice. His wife is amazing as well. I only got to know them for a month, so I can't really share much, but they're extremely nice people, very dedicated to the work, and I'm sure that he's going to do great as the mission president. Also in the mission, to talk about what people think of missionaries, as I said, they normally invite us in, and even if they don't know who we are, they normally know who we are just by seeing us in the street. They know who we are by us having talked to them before. And they know that we're teaching about the gospel. But there are a lot of misconceptions about that. A lot of people think we're being paid, obviously, because who would do this unpaid? And we're not. And then a lot of people believe that we're different churches. A lot of people believe that we're Jehovah's Witnesses. or Pentecostals, because down there both of those churches have very much the same approach as tracting, going door to door and talking to people. But one thing we always point to was our plaque, our name tag, and we basically said, if they have a white shirt and tie and they have this on, then they're an elder. They're from our church or a sister. And we kind of explained the difference. Another misconception is that Americans are older than they really are. I don't know why. Maybe it's the different ethnic background of the people. But I got estimates being 18 to 20 years old in my mission. I got estimates from 25 to 45 as my age. I just liked asking it, actually. I just would ask a random taxi driver, like, how old do I look? He's like, I don't know, like 35? I don't know why. And they also believe because we're older that we're married for some reason. And so they're like, what'd you do with your family back in the United States? I'm like, well, I left them, I guess, like my parents are at home and my brother and sister. No, but like your wife and stuff. I'm not married. I'm 18 or 19 or 20. And so that was kind of interesting as well. There's a bunch of misconceptions. A lot of them are less common. But like I said, even getting past the misconceptions, they really love us, and for the most part are extremely nice. One of the most important things that an investigator needs to do before being baptized is keeping his commitments, like reading in the Book of Mormon, saying his prayers, or his or her prayers, attending church, following the commandments and everything. But one thing they seem to lack in my mission, they pray, but then you're still not sure if they're praying really with real intent, if they're praying truly. But one of the things they struggle with is reading in the Book of Mormon. And so a lot of people, I guess it's just because they don't have a regiment. They don't have the habit of reading in the scriptures every day. And so that makes it harder for them. But a lot of them they don't want to read. A lot of them can read, but sometimes they just don't want to read, or they don't put time into it. So if you never read the Book of Mormon, it's kind of hard to know if the church is true, and you're probably not going to be baptized. And so one of the key things to do is if they haven't read with what you left them the last lesson, you need to go over what you left them, or even read it with them, so that they understand, the importance. Teach them a lesson through what they should have read, so that they gain an appreciation for the scriptures and they want to read them next time. So I served from 2013 to 2015. I served starting off in an area called Soto La Marina, and then I went to the hottest place in the mission called Ciudad Valles. And then it was from there to a town in the south end of the mission called Tantoyuca. And from Tantoyuca, I went to Tampico. Well, actually, the city right next to Tampico, which is Ciudad Madero. And then after that city, I went to Tampico. And then after Tampico, I went all the way to a place called Altamira. And I actually served in 2 areas in that last one, in Altamira. So, yeah, that's where I served. All great places. I really loved them, but there's obviously a few favorites in there.